Target always has these dollar eraser bags. These are great for patterns. So many things because the pop beads, these are great for fine motor and also for pattern. Seashells, or like even painting, the girls like to do is color their own noodles to make like the necklace noodle things. And it's also a great way to do patterns and work on colors. Even like collecting like stuff on the outside, like sticks and acorns. The easiest pattern is called the A-B pattern, and if it doesn't repeat itself 2 times, then it's not considered a pattern. So it has to have 1 and 2, or I don't know. So our A is going to be a lemon and our B is going to be a watermelon. But again, you can use whatever. And my my grandmother, whenever I first started teaching Eli patterns, she told me to use like major opposite things, like opposite in shape, color, size, whatever. So, you know, maybe I should have like had one of these be a little bigger than the other, because the more difference you have, the more understanding kind of they have towards it. Sounds like my family is about to walk in the door here. So that is an A-B pattern. And that's also what her worksheets kind of look like. But how using 3D objects is so important. So then you're trying to figure out what comes next. Well, you and I both know it's going to be an A, right? So, which is our lemon. But how do we get Sadie to show us? Because I'm sure she knows this. I'm sure she sees patterns every day. She probably doesn't know that they're called a pattern or that that's their name or whatever, but I'm sure she knows what they are. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get her to show us that she knows what this answer is. And I think the best way for Sadie to do that is going to be, we're going to have to like draw her in. Okay, so I would keep it super basic at first and just kind of act like you're frustrated at the table, like, I can't figure this out. If that doesn't draw her in, then maybe you could be like, Sadie, do you think you could come help me figure this out? And when she gets to your table or wherever you're doing this, you could just kind of show her, I have a lemon, watermelon, lemon, watermelon. What's gonna come next after the watermelon? And I would just have 2 options out in a bowl or container, a little tray or something for her to choose, you know. And if she can't, you know, which one do you think comes next? Which one do you think, the watermelon or the lemon goes next? I'd give her a couple minutes to kind of think about it if she needs that. I'm guessing that she won't need all of these extra words, but just in case, you know, if she doesn't decide, then you can put it up there and say, that doesn't look right. I usually keep this all one tape, but since her preschool had that sheet where they kind of had the next answer off in a box, that's why I did it like that. But if you think that throws her off, I would just put one line, because I use the pattern templates online that are all connected, and they're just like a whole bunch of boxes type of thing, like all in one line. I feel like that kind of throws kids off sometimes, but if that's what she's used to seeing, then she's gonna pick up on that. So if she's not participating, you'd be like, do you think this is right? What about this? Does this look right? And yeah, that looks right. Let's see, let's check it out. Lemon, watermelon, lemon, watermelon, lemon. That must be right. And then I would just have like another square ready, Or if you decide to just do the line, you know, make sure your line's just a little extra long. And you could ask her, what comes after the lemon? And of course, you only have one choice left in your bowl. And then go back over the pattern again. Lemon, watermelon, lemon, watermelon, lemon, watermelon. And then you could, you know, make it harder. So again, you can make the boxes if you want, or you could just do one strip. And then you could say, okay, well, what about this? Lemon. And I wouldn't let her see all your extra pieces. Like, keep them in your lap or something, especially when you're going through the first one. The less that's out for her to see, the less distracting it'll be. Watermelon, lemon, watermelon, lemon. Then which one comes next? You know, to just kind of test her, since this time we asked her for the lemon, now we're asking her for the B, the watermelon. And then you could do another strip. Kind of just ask her if she can make her own pattern like Mommy did. And see if she can use whatever your remaining pieces are to then make the pattern just like Mommy did. Lemon, watermelon, lemon, watermelon. I'm like over detailed when I send people videos like this because I work with kids all day, so I feel like I have to be like very specific with them. So I saw on her worksheet thingy that there was a pattern that was like this. It's like A, B, A. And it was like pumpkin, pumpkin, witch, pumpkin. And then they were trying to have her figure out the other, this one. And that is one that I just don't teach until after. It's not a pattern that I teach until after. I teach this one, which is similar, but it's like double A, double B. And the reason I teach this one first is just because it's the same concept as A, B, A, B, A, B. It's just doubled. And I find a lot of times like kids become confused by this one. But you would basically just teach it. It would be the next step after the AB one. And you would just teach it exactly like you did the AB one. Just kind of have her figure out what's next. So that's the ABC pattern. And then A, B, which this one's kind of hard. I don't think... I mean, there's just a lot out there. But if Sadie has like a number correspondence, like she knows like 1 thing equals 1, 2 things equals 2, and she can like count 1, 2, 3, kind of like that type of skill, then she should be able to nail this easily. And yeah, and then I would teach this one after that one. I wouldn't sit down and try to teach them to her all at once. I would just like, you know, do one this week, like do the AB one this week, and like maybe at some point once you think she's got it down, like give her like a cup of the pieces and say, would you like to make your own pattern without Mommy's help? And just kind of encourage her to like sit and do it herself. If they start using them or manipulating them in a way that is not productive, I guess, I will tell them, give them a warning, and then the next time I'll just simply go and pick them up and say, you can try again tomorrow. But that's not how we're using these today.